just sitting down. And I didn't know. God gave me a girl that fights every day to sit, to stand, to talk. My birth plan didn't look like every other mom's. It was whether we wanted CPR, whether we wanted chest compressions. Mind you, it is a 3-pound baby.
Welcome back to The Ordinary Brave. I'm Kelly Parkinson, your host, and this is a podcast where we talk about stories of faith, family, and community. And today we're going to hear a story from a woman, a story that's hard, but also a story that's a miracle. And I can't wait for her to share this story with you. This mom I've known since I've moved to Cookeville. Our boys wrestled together in a youth club, and I have walked with her through different journeys and experiences in her life. But this is a unique story that I know is going to bless many other families out there when they hear just how God has done something miraculous in this family's life. Well, my friend Raquel Massey is here today, and she is going to share her family story with you. Raquel, thank you so much for being here on my podcast.
Thank you for having me. And yes, we have known. I can't believe our kids are now in college.
Oh, yes, I know. And Romeo is a sophomore?
It's a junior.
Junior.
Yes.
At Mississippi State.
Yes, he's a junior at Mississippi State. He also signed up for the National Guard.
Wow.
So he is going to be a National Guard and officer, I'm guessing, once they graduate.
Well,
yes.
We know Coach John out there was probably proud of that too.
Yes.
That was our old wrestling coach, and he's also military. So
yes, and that is somebody that he still to this day looks up for.
Yeah, Coach John, great man. Now you also have Micah.
Yes, so I homeschool Micah. He is going to be 7 on the 17th of December. We do classical conversations also because I saw how your kids and how great that program is. And my little Jolene, who just turned 3.
Oh, wow. Now you live in Putnam County. Are you in Cookeville? Or are you outside of the?
No, I actually live in White County.
Okay.
I live in Sparta. It's like right at the line. So I jump one side, it is Putnam County.
Now, are you guys doing a little bit of homesteading? Because I see you talking about chickens a lot, and I love watching you do even like your yard work and your plants and things that are out. You make some great social media reels, by the way.
Thank you.
They're very entertaining, funny, and then also just informative.
Yes, so it is funny how you pray and you have a life that you ambition, right? I always envision having like 10 kids living out in the country and just living a simple life. That's what I prayed about. God gave me Romeo. And 13 years later, gave me Micah. But in between, there was a lot of heartache. So I lost 2 babies right before Micah, I'm sorry. And the first baby, the doctor was like, it happens. They have always said that miscarriages are normal.
Right.
So I lost the first one. I had fibroids and other things. So the doctor said, we're going to have to do a surgery and we're going to clean you out and you'll be good as new. So I prayed. Everything went great. I took care of myself and I got pregnant and I lost that baby. And that was the beginning of a really hard journey. And faith was shaken a little bit. But I was like, no, my husband and I always go to church and have a support system and it will be okay. God will give us. But it was hard because we did all the steps to have a baby, and then we didn't. But then came Micah, and I thought it was going to be a great pregnancy, and it was physically, but it was very like PTSD.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to sonograms. However, faith kept me sane. I always say that if I didn't have God in my life, I don't know how I would have done life. After that, I got pregnant again. We tried fertility drugs. We tried because I was already 40 by this time. And we tried fertility drugs and nothing worked. I did not get pregnant. So I said, okay, we're done. I can't do this anymore. And I got pregnant.
Yeah.
I got pregnant and we lost that baby. So after that baby, I had an existential crisis. I went full mode healthy, and I said, we're not having no more babies. We're done. And we were done. We thought we closed the factory, and I got pregnant. And my miracle is here. And I remember praying so hard for a strong little girl, because I wanted a girl. I had boys. A strong girl. I had this vision that she was going to be a wrestler, a ballerina, a woman president, all of the things. And I was at work because I always lost my babies at 7 to 8 weeks. So we passed those. So I was like, okay, this is it. We're good. We are going to have this baby. And I received a phone call, and I thought that it was going to be, because of my age, I had to have Mommy 21, the blood test, just because I was called geriatric pregnancy. But the doctor is the one that called me at work, mind you. And he said, hey, Raquel, I have the results of your test. And I was like, oh, can you please call my friend for I thought the gender reveal. We were already planning this. And he said, well, your baby has tested positive for trisomy 18. So we can just discuss palliative care and or termination. I was at work. This was over the phone. There was nothing. I didn't know what palliative care mean. And I was like, termination was. So I just remember, just sitting down, and I didn't know. And as automatically I texted, what is trisomy 18? And I guess he heard me texting or Googling, and he said, and don't even worry about looking it up, because you're not going to like the results. And so immediately I stopped, and I said, okay. He didn't call me. So to start with, when a mom receives a diagnosis like I did, it is important to be able to talk to a person in a kind manner. Like, I don't care what a diagnosis says on a textbook, but God has the last word. And he has showed it with my daughter. Not everybody has a happy ending like I do. However, I feel like if we are more informed as to what are we looking at, and with the type of medicine updates that we have, these babies can live a great life.
Yeah.
I feel like, a diagnosis like that, it can be so scary. And I didn't know anything, like, at all. I didn't want to Google, because now I'm scared.
Sure.
About Googling. And not only that, I feel like our kids matter. The doctor I had, so immediately they send me to, what is the term of this? It's a fetal, I was
like a specialist.
It's a specialist for babies that have other conditions, not like your regular. I went to them, first of all, because I was losing so many babies, which it's such a rabbit hole. My cases were never, I had all the testing done. If it was genetic, if there was a problem with me carrying the babies, and it wasn't. In my case, it was as simple as taking a baby aspirin when you are pregnant. Because what happened was that my blood was too thick, and sometimes it stopped flowing to the baby, so they died. So little things like that doctors do not communicate to moms, because they say that it is normal for you to lose 3 babies. After you have lost 3 babies, then they can see of other options for you. And I think that one baby is one baby. Like, we don't need to lose just human lives like that. That is why I am so against abortion, because it's so, I know there's so many different cases, and I know that they're out there, that so many moms are fighting for the rights. And I feel like if you had all the information out there, if you knew, you wouldn't choose blindly.
Sure.
Because if I would have gone with that phone call, that doctor said we can only do palliative care, which is just having a baby and, just let him die with just comfort care, no interventions at all. I didn't even know what that word was, okay? Or abortion. I'm thinking, this baby, how's this baby gonna come? Is it gonna be deformed? Is it gonna be, which at that, we talked with my husband afterwards, and it didn't matter really. I don't care if she came with four. I don't know. It wouldn't have mattered. I would have loved this baby like I do now.
So tell me about, you get this diagnosis over the phone, unfortunately.
Yes.
But so how did your faith just immediately like take a role?
In that moment, it was unconscious, honestly, because in that moment I was so in shock. I didn't hear anybody. I can tell you right now, it's still like it was yesterday. All I could do was stand up, go to my boss, and tell her, I need a moment. And she said, do you need to go home? But I felt like a shark. Like if I stopped swimming, I would have died. I felt like I couldn't stop. I sat on my car, and we all hear there's peace. He gives peace that we don't understand. I would have never, ever experienced that if I wouldn't have gone through this. There's no explanation. I can't tell you, oh, it was because I prayed. No, it was something that just came over me. And I knew in that instant that God had this. But I'm human. So it is not as simple as, oh, I was okay, God. No. But the way that he carried me in this journey since that phone call, I can't explain it to you for you to understand. It was like I felt carried instantly. It was this peace. I cried and cried, but I knew that everything was going to work out. However, in my journey, there was people that said because I didn't have enough faith, my daughter was the way she was. And I'm going to tell you now that God does not work that way. God does not work that way. He healed my daughter. She still has trisomy 18. But my daughter is like, but I'm going to start with that first time. So I felt that. And fun fact, trisomy 18 is more common in girls. And I thought that was cruel for me because I wanted a girl so bad. I was a strong girl that did all the things. But God did give me that.
Yeah, I was about to say you've got a strong girl.
God gave me a girl that fights every day to sit, to stand, to talk in her own way. So expectations, we talk about expectations and what we think life. When we started this podcast, you asked me that I like chickens and all that stuff, and I did. But I was always, we don't have time when we have enough money. But Jolene came and God was like, I told you, time is now. Like, you can do this. If you have faith in me, I will provide. And he did. He provided. We went from a 2-income family to 1 income. My husband was over the road truck driver. He was gone a lot. And he said, I'm done. I'm going to be home with you. And he quit today. Okay. I said, okay, like, okay, do we have a job line? And he's like, no, but I will apply for something tomorrow. I was panicking. He applied the next day for the first job. He got the interview on the third day. I'm not even joking. On the third day, he got the interview, and the guy that interviewed him said, I really don't believe in God that much. Like, I'm not a religious man, but I prayed for you this morning. And he had the job.
Wow.
So he did. I mean, he got a job. So we started having chickens. We started doing all the things. And that is how I help my family now. I do educational reels. So like and share because that's my livelihood. I do bread to sell. I do jams and just a real homestead. I after Jolene, I found out what really it is to have a clean, healthy food and how important that is. Part of Well, I guess I am jumping all over the
That's
place.
okay.
So when we got the diagnosis, the first trouble that we found was hospitals. Where were we going to deliver this kid? Vanderbilt didn't want her. They were not taking kiddos with like her. Um,
Wow, I would think they would be fully
yes.
equipped to do that.
However, after COVID, the policies change. When they started doing sonograms and stuff for her, she had a big hole in the heart. She had a little cyst that usually is common for kids to have. However, for trisomy 18 kiddos, it can be encephalitis or any other problem with the head. She grew up normally for 15 weeks and everything was fine. At 15 weeks or 18 weeks, the doctor, there was an extra doctor that came from Knoxville, and he's like, "Oh, she's fine.
Is
She
this
doesn't have."
this is in utero?
Yes, this
Okay.
all is in utero. This was another thing. I never knew that all this tests can happen. I had an MRI, and you could see every single vertebrae of the body, and I can't remember right now what the name of it is, but there is a piece on the spine that it is the shape of a cross. So we have God all over the place. If you want some scientifically proof, just go look at your vertebrae. And you could see it there. You could see it like everything inside. But they confirmed that she had 3 holes in the heart and that she was going to need surgery, open heart surgery. So the only place that I could do it was in Cincinnati Children's.
Okay.
Remember, my baby was 3 and I had a senior in high school. So not only her diagnosis challenged our family dynamics, my faith, and just finances. How you do, I dropped everything and just, we're like, if you tell me to go have him in Alaska, we'll just go. And God provided every single step of the way. There was people that came. I didn't buy a single thing for her because I thought it was going to be so much harder to have a whole nursery set up for my baby girl that I've always wanted, and I'm not going to bring her home. And then I'm going to have to pack all the things. I remember that I stopped praying. I did. I stopped praying because I didn't want to pray, and God answers your prayers always. It's yes, no, or not now, or no. So I didn't want him to be like, you're gonna have her, but she's coming home with me. And I didn't want to be mad. So I was like, I'm not gonna pray. But I asked everybody to pray for her. Everybody prayed for her. And every time I would feel like that, God sent me always a message. I'm here with you. When I didn't feel her move, she was 3 pounds when she was born. So she was so tiny that you couldn't feel her move. I had this condition where you have water all over your body. So I was super big. And she was so tiny, you couldn't feel her. Every time I was like, she died. I can't feel her. She would knock on my uterus. It was a knock. It was a knock, I know. 2 or 3 times. Okay. When we had the MRI, for example, that was hard. We had to prepare her birth plan. My birth plan didn't look like every other mom's. It was whether we wanted CPR, whether we wanted chest compressions. Mind you, it is a 3-pound baby with chest compressions. Like, that was so hard. But every time we had to have a hard decision, something happened just to remind us that God was there with us. Like I said, I didn't get no nursery, no nothing. I had a phone call that day that I was doing the MRI, and one of my mom friends from church called me and he said, send me a picture. She had bought the crib. She went to my house without me knowing and fix her nursery, and because she deserved to have a nursery. Another friend had all the clothes there for her. I couldn't bring myself up to that.
Yeah.
We were sitting down at the NICU one day, and We were giving up because her oxygen stats were not doing great. And we didn't have gas money anymore. And he was going to have to go back to work. And the lady from the staff said, a family saw you guys and heard you guys talking. Here is a gift card for gas and food for 2 to 3 days.
Wow.
And
That's just God's people.
that's just God's people working without even, like, we didn't know these people. The majority of people were not. My family was there, but these were complete strangers. We had been, she was born September 12th. We had left to Cincinnati since August. We lived at the Ronald McDonald's house. My mom would take care of the little one, and she would travel. She would stay with us sometimes over there. She would come back. But God was with us every step of the way. Every time we felt like we were falling, and the biggest miracle, she was born. She didn't have no holes in her heart. She didn't. If I show you the sonograms, the MRIs, all the pictures, it shows her big. It's called a BSD, and she had 3. They were so tiny that they didn't need. She didn't need any intervention. The only thing intervention that she has had, thank God, is tube for feeding. So she has to have. She's tube fed. She trisomy 18 kiddos. Part of their syndrome, it has low muscle tone. So their muscle tone, that's why we can't talk, or she can't talk very good or at all, is because of her muscle tone. So the majority of kiddos are nonverbal. However, she understands you. Like if you talk to her, we're doing sign language. She would say hi to you. She just responds.
Yeah.
She knows my voice. She has a hearing aid, not because she can't hear, but her airways are so tiny the doctors cannot see inside her ears. So the sounds travels really like muffled. So she has a hearing aid. She has eyeglasses. She can't see far away or close by, really. So her eyes, and she went from being a vegetable, like she's never gonna move, to she sits down, she rolls, she plays peekaboo with you, she covers herself and takes her things out, she knows food. We do teach sign language. Now she's in therapy every day, and she has an eye gazer. So she watches the screen, and with her eyes, she can say mom or sleep or food or anything.
That's amazing. So, I mean, you truly gone to your child will not survive. Your child is probably not going to live long after birth. And here she is, defying all the odds.
All the odds.
So, God gave you that strong girl because she's got a strong will to
Yes.
survive and surpass what statistics may say, what the world may say. And I want you to tell me a little bit about her name.
Oh, yes. So her name, I love Dolly Parton. Love her. So I wanted a Jolene. So that was the name that I chose for her. Her name is going to be Jolene Massey. When they gave me the diagnosis, they said that she has trisomy. So I was like, she has to have 3 names. And God gave me the name of Miracle. He said, like, it was clear as day. She's going to be your miracle. The one that you prayed for, she is. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to name her Jolene. She's going to be Miracle. And then I said, well, she needs 3 names. She's extra. So she needs that extra. So I named her Jolene Miracle Rose, which gave me the name for our farm, which is Miracle Rose Farmhouse. And again, everything that I prayed for, it was not now, and I didn't know that. God's plan, it just worked perfectly. I went from wanting to have a calmer life, to be there for my kids, to be able to homeschool, from wanting all that and thinking that I was not able to, and he said, "Yes, you are." And the things that you don't think that you are able to, God has plans for you. We were dating with my husband and we went to Ruby Falls. And there was this family there with a special need kid. He was throwing a fit. He was crying. It was crowded. And Aubrey and I looked at each other and said, we would never be able to do this. We could never do this. This was 11 years ago. Okay. 3 years ago, God gave us that. Yeah. And we thought we were not going to be able to. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't challenging.
Sure.
But God turns the ordinary, you don't have to know nothing, to now I met the best people. So one of the reasons and why I chose to do this podcast is because causing awareness or giving awareness to moms with this diagnosis is how I was able to care for my daughter, fight for her, and have my faith more like cemented in and know that it comes from there for all the success that I can have. We started with a Facebook group. It's called From Diagnosis to Delivery, and it's for those diagnoses that are life-changing. This mom, Beverly Jacobson, her daughter is now 8 or 9, and she is Verity. She is a trisomy 18 kiddo. She started this group, and that's how I got plugged with. She gives encouraging, reminds you that God is with you and supports you. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know where we could take her, what doctors, and their hospitals are called trisomy friendly. They know that these kiddos have a trisomy, but they also know that they're kids, and that is how they should be treated, like a child. If she is, a baby that has a cold is going to be treated like a baby that has a cold. If I take Jolene anywhere else, to this day, her pediatrician tells me, I don't even know what to tell you anymore. This girl has proved me wrong for 3 years, because the first appointment was, we're going to do everything we can, but you know that she might not make it to her 6 months. She might not make it to a year. And I always said, okay. That's all I answered. She's 3.
Yeah.
And so from there, now I volunteer. It's called Mama Bear Care. And this is a group, a support group that we do for moms that have lost their babies. For moms that are medical moms like I am, but her kiddos have more complications. And for moms like me that now we have this baby, but there's no statistics, there's no milestones. You don't know this is normal, this is not normal. What can I do or not do? And we are just there to support it, because having this baby has been the biggest blessing, but also relationships with other moms are hard. You go on a play day with your kids and you say, let's go to the park. There's no inclusive parks here. There's no parks where I can take her with her chair and sit her. So we have this community for that. We send care packages to moms. My care package for a new mom is not the same as the one that I would need. We'd like to be included, even though we probably won't go, sure, okay? Sure. But I like to be invited. Jolene loves kids. Right now, one of the biggest therapy sessions that she has is the in-center therapy at Kids Putnam. They take her in. It's just like a 2 or 3 hour daycare experience for her, and she loves it. All the kiddos, as soon as she comes in, they're like, hi, Jolene. Kids, her siblings, kids don't know she's special,
right,
or she has a disability, or they don't know that. They just see her and they adjust and they play with her. She cannot run.
That's the beauty of children.
Yes,
they love unconditionally.
And I feel like that's what God has called us to do. Love unconditionally. And it is up to the parents to teach our kids that we are all different, but we are all childs of God.
So you mentioned siblings. How has your family grown, and specifically maybe Micah and Romeo?
So Romeo has, because he went out to
Sure,
college, has
sure.
not, but it shaped him in his career. He chose, he always had a path that he thought it was going to be. When she was born, he chose it's engineering, but now it's AI engineering. So he is helping programs for kids with disability, like for with the eyes, like the eye gazer, but it's like a game. Like there's like this little ball and he kind of moves it to make it more accessible and affordable, because that's another thing with her diagnosis. If it's incompatible with life, insurance don't want to pay anything because they're not going to live, so why waste the money? um, with Micah, he plays with her. I have seen how his brain works. So he knows that she can't run, but he likes to wrestle. So he sits there and he's like, Jolene, Godzilla. And she knows that when he says Godzilla, she grabs his hair and starts pulling it. And so Micah just throws himself on the floor and they wrestle together. That is something that I never even thought that it was going to be possible. But again, expectations,
Yeah. She
and
is a wrestler after
she's a
all.
wrestler after all. She wrestles. Um, she hides from me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a mat that we put on the floor for her to lay because, you know, she was tired of being just in the crib. So I was cooking and I could see her, but I know she doesn't move. Well, she does. She turned and she went under the couch. So she had her body from here up, just the head out. She was playing underneath the couch. I thought she disappeared. So the things that, those little milestones are huge and we celebrate it big at the house. Um, our marriage was rocked because it is really hard to, like, again, statistics, men and men specifically with kiddos with special need, they tend to not stay, not because of they don't want the babies, I don't think, but because they grieve so differently than we do. And if God was not in the center of our marriage, our approach to each other wouldn't have been the same, because I grieved but I had to do, he grieved by just providing, but the reality is that we both were grieving at the same time. And again, support groups, Rising Above is a ministry, and it's an amazing ministry that helped us with our marriage because it catered to men and how men grieve and how they deal with, you know, the having a kid with disability. It changes your dynamic. I don't get up and just grab a bag and leave. I get up, I grab a bag. I have to make sure that her feedings are there. I have like 1,000
Right,
alarms because
right.
she will not tell you I want to eat. She has a really high pain tolerance. She broke a leg. We didn't know that it was broken for 3 weeks.
Mm.
So those, as moms, we always feel guilt
Sure,
anyways.
sure.
So now add that your daughter had a broken leg and you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
um I don't know how my life would be if I didn't have faith. I just don't know. I don't think that I would have been able to survive it, in all honesty.
Yes. Well, let's bring little
Jolene.
Jolene Miracle
Okay.
in, and that way everybody can meet her and just see this strong girl. Oh, hey, Jolene.
Oh.
Hey, Jolene.
Say hi. Can we say hi?
Hi.
Can we say
Yeah,
hi?
I see you. Hi. Well, this is, yes. Are you telling us all about it? I'm sorry. I've had mom away for a little while, but this is Jolene Miracle Rose Massey, and she is our beautiful, strong girl. The miracle that we've talked about in the beginning, the story that Raquel's been sharing, and we're just so happy that she's here today. And I don't, I these crying and the noise makes my heart happy because she's advocating for herself right now. She's ready to go.
So she knows how to express. She doesn't cry. She cries when she needs something or is tired. But I wanted to talk about how important it is, the therapy sessions, and that is why she is here too. It has helper, and she
Hey.
now can
Hey.
stand.
Look.
Can we show?
Look at
Can we
you,
show them?
Jolene. Look.
Say hi. Yeah. So she can now stand, and we are, if you got, I don't know if I can mention this, but we have a fundraiser for her intensive therapy, which is not covered by insurance because they don't know if it works, but it does. So we are selling Miracle in Motion because she is a miracle and we want to see her in motion.
So that's Miracle in Motion. Is there a website, or how
Yes.
can one give to that?
So we have and I will share it with you. It is a form, and you can get either shirts. We have our, and I got you one.
Oh, thank you.
Our
I love
little
it.
what are they called? Tumblers.
Like a tumbler, yeah.
Yes, our tumbler. And if anybody wants to donate directly, she's going to be in intensive therapy for 3 weeks. Climb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Are we done? Yes. Can we say? Okay. Do you want me to give her to my mom
It
again?
doesn't matter, and I was even like wanting to hold
Oh,
her,
yes.
but I don't even
You
know
want
if,
to
if she
go?
may not want me at all if she's had it. Hi, Jolie. Hi. My name's Miss Kelly. Hi, you beautiful girl. I prayed for you, but everybody can support you in your therapy. Miss Raquel, you tell us where that website is, or how, and directly how they can do it or
Yes,
find you.
so they can send messages or send any donations to Climb Intensive Therapy. It is the only thing that you have to do is just put her name, Jolene Miracle Rose Massey. The address is 5290 Main Street in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And that is all that you have to do for that. I will link on the bottom her Google form where you can purchase a t-shirt or a tumbler, and all donations go to her therapy. But if you do want to send it directly to them, that is where you can go. Just put her name again, and her sessions are going to be from January 3rd to the January 5th to the 23rd. We are going to actually live in Spring Hill, Tennessee for 3 weeks, so she can have the therapy that she needs. It takes a toll on her body, so after therapy session she always has to rest, and that is why she is a little.
That's okay.
But you see, that is telling you she wants to get up.
Yes.
So if you sit her or stand her,
does that mean
you
I
can
should
stand
stand?
her. Yes. What is it?
Here.
What
You want to
is
stand
it?
right here?
You want to stand?
Yeah, there.
Hi.
Does that feel good to stand up?
Yes. Oh.
She's probably like, I thought you were mom, but you're not mom.
You're not. Can we say hi? Can we say hi? Can we say thank you so much, Kelly, for having us over? We really appreciate it. Okay, so I just wanted to add, if you are or know a mom that has had a limited life diagnosis, we have support. We have information from medical. We have a nurse. We have therapists. We have supports for you to help you navigate this hard diagnosis. It's called mamabearcare.org. You can either reach out in that page. You can look us up on Facebook. You can also get a hold of us, email us, or I will leave my information to help support any mama out there.
Well, I'm going to close our podcast out. Thank you so much for being here, Jolene and Raquel, and just taking the time to share your story and how we can support you guys. And of course, we'll keep praying for you, but I hope others will feel led to help support you all in this therapy journey for her, to help her continue to grow strong. We know that the Bible says that every life is created by Him and special and unique, and that He loves us all. And we know that the Lord loves Jolene and other children that are born with just harder diagnoses. And we are thankful for Raquel and Aubrey's life and the way that they are living it out loud for people, the way they have taken the hardships that they've had and they're pouring into other families that are dealing with this. So thank you for listening to The Ordinary Brave, where ordinary people use extraordinary faith to go through hard circumstances like this and also continue to love others. Thank you for listening. And if you like this podcast, we hope that you'll like it and share with others. And we hope that you feel encouraged in your journey today.